Okay, it's a new week and we got some updates from Path of Exile, the developers. They have a new post, upcoming changes and improvements. So let's see what we have here. Full patch notes coming soon. We've addressed some feedback already and working on more fixes. Gameplay feature. Let's see. Like we mentioned last week, we will be adding the capacity to fast travel between checkpoints, yes, as well as adding many more checkpoints to areas, sure. Generally at all entrances and exits at areas, meaning if you find these first, you will be able to instantly travel to them to continue exploring. Okay, we knew that one. Took a little bit longer than expected. We will also be making passive point respecting cheaper, especially at higher levels. It had a relatively aggressive curve, getting more expensive with character level. This should generally result in approximately 40 to 50% less gold cost for respecking. Now this doesn't really solve the issue in essence. The problem was that some builds which you had to spec into quite a bit got gutted, and respecking out of them is very expensive. Even if you reduce the cost, especially if the build is bricked, which I do not know if they are or not. But if you play a specific way and you can't continue playing that way, you cannot really make the go to respec. So I don't know. It helps everyone else, but those that get hit by nerf hammers too much, they probably need a different way. Or you just need to always have like 100 grand in gold available. Which I don't know if that is something people are going to do. But at least it's a step in the right direction. They can always increase the cost later on if need be. I'll reduce the gold you get additionally as well. For the second mask, players were finding the try particularly frustrating in close range, so we have reworked how honor damage scales when in close range, as well as fixing an important bug that was causing players to take far too much honor damage from damage over time. No shit. I remember I got hit by one of the fireballs, one of the trap fireballs, and the burn took like 700 honor. That was nice. The honor damage now scales down based on distance to enemies. When in close range, you will take less damage. Okay, fix the bug where damage over time was dealing thrice as much damage. Fixed was only playing to 2/3 of the damage. Killer Golem no longer use basic attacks and instead now just explode. Are those the small ones? Seven Claws, Baron ambush attack now has improved visual telegraphing, cannot be used from as far away. Volcanus recreated Fissure Slam now lasts half the duration. Okay. Volcanus, that was insane. How long some of these last, that was, I don't know. Serpent Clans, yes, they are really obnoxious because they attack you before you can even see them most of the time. And then they are just invincible. Skitter Golems. I do not know what Skitter Golems are. I'm assuming it's the small dudes. Let's see. Skitter Golem PoE2. Are they the small ones? I mean, I don't know. Co-pilot? No, bad. Doesn't matter. I hope it's a small one. There are a couple enemy types that really suck. The really small little beetles that then get like a shock aura around them every now and then. They really suck because to deal with them in melee range means you always get hit. I believe the statues have something similar where they can just hit you if you are in melee. They are really fast. There was a mob like that attacks you really quick. Now, honor damage scales down based on distance to enemies. I thought this was a part of the game, of the Sanctum. Wasn't that how Sanctum worked? I mean, how insane is it that you don't have a specific scale for distance in Sanctum? I mean, better late than never. So hopefully this is going to help me finish Sanctum so I can get my Ascendancy. Endgame and monster balance. Generally, the balance in endgame maps was more punishing than intended, so we've toned down the damage in a number of ways and disabled a certain on-death effect, where the telegraphing was not as clear as it should have been. Maps no longer have additional elemental resistance penalties inherently applied to tier 6 and tier 11 for higher maps. It is now consistent across all of the endgames, so higher tier maps are not as difficult anymore, I guess. Chaos damage now also scales less aggressively over the endgame. Nice. Critical strikes from monster now deal 40% less bonus damage. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, it is very strange that in comparison to Path of Exile 1 you do like a double damage if you crit. So now monsters do less. I assume that means monster general bosses as well, which also means that you could potentially, I believe there were notes on the tree which allows you to take less critical damage. So maybe you can do something similar to Last Epoch, where you are not immune to crit, but crit just does normal damage to you if you spec into that direction, which would be nice. Out baseline monster density of breach, primarily by reducing the frequency of the elite. I mean, I like how breach works. It is very jarring the first time you open a breach encounter and you just get swarmed. I mean, I assume elite doesn't mean rare, but means all the ones that have like an aura around them that are a little bit tougher. I mean, monster density is always, people like it. More stuff to kill is just more loot. We will see. So it should just make it easier, which is always a plus. Volatile crystal modifier. Yeah. Those, I assume, no. Volatile crystal was the one that left the crystals, and if you kill the mob it explodes. Okay, I didn't really have a problem with this. Those purple explosives created by the volatile plants modifier now deal significantly less damage. Now these ones I hate. Volatile plant is just shit, because I don't know in which configuration, but sometimes if you are very careful, because they do hit a lot of damage, you would distance yourself from the enemy. You would then trigger the 3 bombs, and in the time you get into melee range they would already spawn new bombs, which meant you had like no downtime between the plant spawning, which made it very difficult to get your 2-channel ability in. Siphon flash charge modifiers on monsters now drains 10 times less charges per second, unintentionally draining way too many. These changes should generally result in an endgame that is much more survivable. Continue to address. Okay. What else is there? The mana drain is... I don't even know how the mana drain works. Sometimes it drains mana instantly, sometimes not. I believe it drains more if you move. That one is very punishing for melee characters, especially if you have a fast, rare mob. You can't really exit the mana drain. And we have the temporal bubble, which increases the cooldown of your cooldown skills. It slows down time for you, so if you use a cooldown skill, it has a longer cooldown. And it has like double cooldown then, which sucks a lot if you use cooldown skills a lot. But we will see. Probably going to make myself a post as well, putting some stuff in As example, whenever you do the tower, you have those frost rays or whatever. They do their frost attacks, then they go invisible and just run around, but they are invincible while they are invisible, which it should not be the case. They are already invisible, that is their mechanic. They should not be immune to all your AoE damage, in my opinion. But I'm gonna post that one in a feedback. We will see what is going to come out of that. Character item balance. We've made charm modifiers on bait substantially more common and now appear at much lower levels. Symbolism, inscription, whatever those mean. Electrocute is now 25% harder to build up, but the damage penalty has been removed. Okay. Added a new lightning damage and electrocute cluster to the passive tree in between the ranger and monk. It is now more difficult to chain freeze enemies by reducing the amount of freeze build-up applied after a freeze has been applied. What? Oh. Wait. Freeze had no reduction like stun? If you stun an enemy, they are resistant to stun for like 5 seconds. You can still build up stun, but it's very slow. Freeze didn't have that, really? I assume they are just going to increase the difficulty, I hope. And the talisman notes now grants 1 charm slot. Small passive leading up grants the stat it formerly gave. The charm help attacks has been updated. Cannot have more than 3 charm slots unlocked. I mean, I guess this is these modifiers which give you more charm slots. I'm running around with 1 because I never found a build that had one of these. Is support gem balance. Okay. Since launch, we have unfortunately had to nerf a few skills that were far too overpowered. How do we define overpowered? Basically, it's the situation of which a certain skill is so powerful that players feel no other method of playing the game is viable. So you mean like Monk. Generally speaking, as we are trying to do this in a way that doesn't make a build bad, but we can make mistakes. Ideally, any truly meta-shifting changes will only happen at the same time as the content patch. Yeah, I do remember you nerfed Supercharged Slam. You said it was too fast to build up charges for the damage it did, so you just nerfed the damage instead of the charge generation, which was very strange. Doesn't mean that we have been haven't been looking at underpowered skills and support gems. We've got a number of changes planned which should improve the skills. Will be in a patch notes, but here's a sample. Improved to rolling, slam and all shield skills. Improvement to various bow skills, especially the skills used to generate frenzy. Okay. Bone skills covers damage over time. Various crossbow skills. Some of the underachieving quarterstaff abilities. I mean, it's like rolling slam and all shield skills, some bow stuff, yeah, underachieving quarterstaff abilities. So there are some quarterstaff abilities that are very good. It's the only one that is more or less positive. There's a positive spin on, I mean, Monk seems pretty strong, so why not? Hopefully, I mean, I like rolling slam. Let's see what they are going to do, maybe a little bit faster. Alongside all those skill gem improvements, we've also had done a pair of support gems, added 2 new supports, and removed or lessened the penalties on many others. Notably the fire, lightning, and code exposure. Remove. Oh, the penalties, never mind, okay. That is a tremor support, which can be used to give multiple more aftershocks to skills with a damage penalty. Added the bidding support, which can be used to give more damage to the command skills of supported minions. Fire exposure or the exposure gems no longer penalize damage of supported skills. They now have a mana cost multiplier. Now also some notable nerfs to a few of the remaining overachieving skills. Skeletal Arsonist Spirit costs now match the other 2 skeleton mages. This should result in a slightly decrease in the number of arsonists at a higher level. Nerf to the damage over time component on very high levels of Tornado and Vine Arrow. These were never intended to be dealing damage themselves, but more so act as a way for other skills to propagate damage. Magnetic Salvo can now only use your stuck lightning arrows as opposed to those created by your party members. As we wind down for the holiday season, we wanted to thank you all for your our most successful launch. We could have blah blah blah. A lot of our team will begin to take some much needed rest over the next few weeks, but we look forward to getting back in the new year. So I mean, it's sure, yeah, you do need to take some rest. You did pick a very bad time to launch the game though. I hope after the patch, I mean, this is just an example, a little sample of what they are going to change. So if the game is after all these changes in a pretty good place, sure. I'm assuming there are gonna be emergency fixes. Let's say anything. Melee trial buff, more charm slots. Someone does remove this. Give us 6 portals back? No. I do have some Dark Mage buff. I do have some feedback I'm gonna put in to the forum. As example, I thought about the maps. I do like that you are not locked out of maps. They still get like a half. You lose all the leaks inside the map if you fail, but you don't lose the benefit of the tower increase of quantity quality. Could be a visual bug again. However, in my opinion, if you fail a map, it should just be completed. You should just complete the map. If it's not a bug and you get the benefits of increased quantity, quality, whatever the tower gives you, what is going to stop you from just going into the map, clearing like 70-80%, and just leaving? And then repeating the map over and over again. You can then open another map, and you can ping between 2 maps, or you just die in the map and always get like a benefit. But good stuff, good stuff. Now these are like the fixes they are going to implement soon. Some feedback already are working on points upcoming patch. We don't have a date. This is going to be huge. I just suck at Sanctum. So this is going to be really good. This is always nice to just be able to explore different ways to play the game. I don't know about balance. I'm not the developer. I hope they have a good idea what they need to change. I don't know why this one got removed and this one stayed, because I hate this one a lot more than this one. I do know this one can just one-shot you because the crystals are very hard to see sometimes. This one, I mean, seen some changes. I don't know how effective charm slots are. This one definitely one of the biggest things we are going to see. And then a couple nerfs. I assume in here we could also see some nerfs, additional nerfs later on. But we will see. Definitely, I mean, it's hard to really keep that in mind, but it's like, how many days? Like 10 days since launch? And they're changing a lot. They're quick on those changes. So let's see. Hopefully, Supercharge Slam is getting buffed again, so it's not as bad as the meta skills. A little bit buffed. We will see.